There will indeed be no tour like this journal tour. Almost 6 or 7 months of journaling from December to July. Before I start this tour, I think I need to mention a few things. This book was actually a sketchbook, as you can see here, and it had way more pages than you can see right now, but I had to tear them off because the spine of this completely broke off. A lot of my journal spreads come from this tearaway calendar that I have. So if you see really pretty art, it's just artists that have made really good illustrations for this calendar, and I tore them off and pasted them on my journal. It's the weekend when I'm filming, so there'll be a lot of maybe honking or crows, whatever, but that's to be completely ignored. So let's begin. Good thing it is binded with thread, so the actual journal pages have not come out, but the cover itself did. So this is the cover page that I created on the workshop. I clicked some pictures of myself in a photo booth and decided to go completely simple. I had no idea what to do, but going on a workshop, this actually helped me map out how I can paste what, and I think this is a very solid first page. These two pages as well were created in the journaling workshop itself. This is my first time having a junk or a normal journal ever, and I'm so excited to have it. I went with a simple topic of things I love and listed some things down here. Another page that I made on the workshop itself is this cafe inspired spread because the workshop was happening on a cafe. So I thought, let me just paste some things here. This is a greeting card that my friend gave to me from Germany, and it was an advent calendar in which all of these illustrations were behind a door. So I thought of cutting them out and making it into a Christmas tree. I was about to go on a vacation starting New Year, so these are some things that I packed for the trip. I went to this store called 𝘰𝘳𝘯𝘵 and I had never been there before, so it was a pretty fun experience trying to buy stuff. And this is a pure junk journal page. I have been using planners since a long time, so this is part of my 2025 planner where I had put moods of mine throughout the year in pixels. So I just cut off the page from the journal and pasted here. A vision for my journaling. This is actually painted by me, the background. Kind of have like a vision for the journal itself. This is my first ever time asking someone to give me this junk. You know, that meme where people are just having normal experiences, but people like us who do journaling ask for junk from places. So these are all the junk. So that's a very fun page. This is like a very early stage of my journaling, so my spreads don't necessarily look polished, but is there anything called polish in the journaling community? I don't think so. This is my first milestone ever, and at the time I had not decided ever that I will be this journaling girl who posts journaling videos. But somehow I decided to just experiment and do it, and I got my first 500 followers, and I wrote a lovely note beside. One of the first ever junk spreads that I'm super proud of. These are like such random things. Like, this is from a footwear. These are like sticker backings. This is a menu. So a lot of random things compiled into one. I am very proud of this one. Here's a Valentine's inspired spread. This background is actually from a planner I used to own maybe in 2023. It looks really pretty. So this looks cohesive, but these are completely different spreads. This is like a compilation of a lot of Indian things. Like, this is a soap one, the Mumbai ticket, Doraemon toy. So everything is on brand, and I think it turned out cute. This is actually from the same toy I got. It was in a shape of a flower, so I thought flower is too obvious, so let me just cut each petal and turn it into raindrops. So Doraemon is cute, so it's raining cuteness. I received some international snacks from an auntie I know. This was actually not sticking on the page, so I had to completely seal it off with sellotape, which is why it looks very shiny. So this spread as well as these two were again made on another journaling workshop. This actually I made it when I came back home because I clicked the photo and then I printed it out and wanted to just give an ode to the journaling workshop I went to, as well as these recent favorites. And this is again from the calendar, and I love this quote so much. It reminded me all the more to do a lot of play when I am journaling. A very simple spread but very effective. Less is more sometimes. I took a croissant. I think the delivery bag of the takeaway was very flimsy, so it looks really wrinkled, which honestly adds to the texture, and I love it. I particularly remember this spread because I was very proud of how I came up with the concept of an ice cream cone. I had actually filmed the process video of this, but somehow the file got deleted, which was why I was so upset about it. So, in all its beauty, I really love this. Another simple spread, which is about me being an artist and how passion requires me to have love for what I create. Bath and Body Works sanitizers. I just had to peel them off from each sanitizer and I pasted them into this cute spread in a way that the Bath and Body Works bag turns into a mini bag. It's a little messy here, but I love it. This is from a soap that I purchased and I somehow had some similar colored supplies, so this turned out pretty neat. So I made a reel where I had mentioned that traumatizing myself by using all the good stickers right now. So I mean, actually since childhood I had this thing that I want to save these pretty stickers for later, for a perfect time. But then I knew that when I started journaling, I cannot just hoard all these supplies with me for later because I have to journal right now. The art of journaling is so present that every single spread that I create, I'm gonna go crazy and mental with all these stickers. Purple is a color I don't go for normally, but I had this really cute box, and somehow this is one of my favorite spreads. I documented this on my YouTube, so you can check that out later. Okay, we are here again with another milestone, 1K. I made this into a very picnicky pink kind of spread. I mean there's nothing more to say than how grateful I was and am for achieving this amount of audience in such a short time, so I had to make a journal spread. I actually received a promotional card where this girl was just looking towards the airplane, but I decided to put her in a cone of sorts. I don't know if it really has any meaning to it. One of my most favorite spreads. I went to the mall, I had the waffle, and I brought this paper back home, cleaned it up thoroughly because we don't want ants on our journal. I turned this into like an interactive thing, and then I decided I can just write something here. This is one of my first posts that went viral, and according to the insights, it got me 500 new followers. Just this thing because I shared how I created it, and most importantly, I just love this quote so much. When I first read it on Pinterest, I got really emotional, so I just thought to make it a very nostalgic, whimsical kind of spread. This jar thing was one of the very popular posts on Pinterest about journaling inspiration. So I thought, let me just make it into a jam bottle and write that art is my jam. I was just feeling a little blue, very on theme. So I just was scavenging all the blue supplies I had, pasted them randomly. This and this spread was also done with a couple of girls that I met in the journaling workshop. We created tiny journal spreads for each other. So the girl who made this for me, I pasted it here. Later, I did a journaling swap with someone, so she sent me a really lovely note, which is here inside, as well as some random supplies which I tried to cohesively paste on this spread. I wanted to convert a book where I was writing scripts for my reels into a wisdom journal. So I had to tear these pages off, and I thought, why just waste these scripts? Because I really love these Instagram reel scripts. So I just pasted them like this. I love both of these spreads. This is, I think, one of my only spreads which is landscape. Love how she is the main character here and everything's about coffee. This was such a random video, but this stands as one of my most viral video ideas. Many people love it. Like, it's so simple. It's just washi tapes stuck together in the shape of a candle, and many people loved it. So it made me really happy. Every time I see this page, I get reminded of how many people just wanted to try it. Also, so many people sent me photos of when they tried this idea, so I was genuinely so happy. I had this picture of her from the newspaper since a really long time, and somehow I just thought, let me just add her on my journal, so I love it. This is actually on my YouTube. This is a journal spread inspired by a lot of vintage stuff, and these supplies are something I don't normally reach out for by myself, but I splurged on it. So I wanted to make something that is vintage dark, so different than, like the colorful spreads I make, so I love it a lot. These are Indian staples, very neat journal spread, I must say. These two also are from the calendar I just showed you. Like, the only thing I love about this is the hippo is grey, so here's a little grey kind of paper on the background. Like, it's just opposites of color palette, so I like it. This is when I was again feeling a little sad, so I wanted to motivate myself when I was journaling. So I just wrote tiny notes for myself to uplift the day. Same concept here as well. I think there were some really good calendar pages that had to go on my journal. This is something I unfortunately did not film, but I know so many people love this. This is a sticker from a brand I really like, and these scribbles that you see, they are real. Okay, like, I was actually this close to snapping on the day. I just took my pen and I scribbled really hard, and it's so simple but effective. Little Hearts is like a snack that I used to enjoy a lot as a kid, and I got it after a long time, as well as this cornetto. So it came together very prettily, but I know how much I was struggling with the concept of this. For example, I don't like the balance, like, there's no balance according to me in this journal spread, but I love it. This was an entire potato chips packet with some funny capybara stickers to go along with it. A random bookmark turned into like a cityscape, and this label is actually from a bakery that I know, so it looks like I'm going to the bakery around town. It's very on theme. I love it. I think it was peak summer when I was obsessed with drinking this guava juice, so I wanted to write a little note about it. I just love the combination of green and pink. I'm obsessed with this page. So the person I went on a journaling workshop with has a mail club, so she decided to send me one of hers, and I turned all those journaling supplies into like a double spread for May. The letter had like a beautiful pattern to it, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so this is how I ended up pasting it. This is a sticker explosion, in my opinion. I just love the concept of this scooter holding the title of what the spread is about. Colors that feel like me. Luckily, I had a pattern paper which was exactly pink and yellow, so a very thick, sticker filled, beautiful journal spread. This looks like one single page, but it's actually, I think, 20 stickers just stuck and combined together. And this quote actually means I lived in books more than anywhere else. So it's a very vintage collage inspired journal spread. I saw this idea on Pinterest and thought of giving it my own spin. So the quote I chose for this was, "Good things are coming." And I made a carousel for it to help people try to do this for themselves, and many people love this idea as well. I tried solar printing. These are actually the first experiments I did of solar printing, so I just wanted to keep a memory of it on my journal. Another one of those chaotic but super cool collages. This is from a lot of things I got in the mall. Like, all of these are like one pamphlet of a brand. It had clothes, it was multicolor, so I thought of just making it to a very random collage, and I just love how this works. Here we go again, another milestone. 5k is halfway to 10k, so I wanted to make a really good spread with this. I wrote a little note here for myself. So the reason why this envelope is pasted upside down is because when I found the Pinterest template for this envelope, I was so excited to cut this template out, and then I realized that this entire beautiful design, if I stick it like this, is gonna go to waste. So I'm like, let me be unique, I guess, and paste the envelope upside down. You know, it's silly, but it works. I love the supplies I picked for this, but then it was just looking so weird and empty, maybe because of the shapes of the supplies. So I decided to add more stars, and then I went with these balloons, and then I was just squiggling, and I don't know, I don't like it. But on the contrary, love this. I love the McDonald's iced coffee, so I wanted to make a spread for the same. It has a little note on it on how much I like the iced coffee. I love that the cover of the iced coffee looks like a lemon, but there's no lemon on iced coffee, but it's just a concept and I love it. One of my favorite things of this is this pressed flower that I put inside a jean pocket. I haven't done many interactive spreads in my journal because I don't know, I'm just so scared of it failing. You'll see one of the failures in a future journal spread. More international candies. I love both of these so much that I had to make a spread. I wrote a little note on how much I love them and placed it inside here. This is a random idea I had when I woke up one morning and I thought I have so many of these sticker sheets that are empty. So I just gathered them, stuck them randomly. The failed interactive spread. I was very excited, loved the idea that the taxi is holding the cup, only to forget that whatever I'll place inside will get folded. It's so messy, I don't even want to touch it because it will probably just tear off. This is what got sacrificed. I just wrote a little note for myself. It is a good spread, okay, but I just wish I would have thought it through without the backstory. This looks good. A rather simplistic journal spread. I think there's a theme going on. Positivity, I guess. Sometimes you just need a dose of that, right? One of my favorite junk journal spreads. This circle you see is from the takeaway box, and this is from the sticker label on their takeaway bag. These are the things I had, and I love it. Another one of my brand collabs. I love how pastel this spread is. This is actually my first international PR package, you can say. The funny story behind this is this whole rectangle that you see. I wanted to paste it like this, like not slanting. But the adhesive was so strong that suddenly I let go from my left hand. It just stuck on the paper, and there was no way I would pull it off because the page would just tear off. So this was my happy accident. I wouldn't have thought of pasting it slanting. So this is what happens when you let loose a little and maybe have a few happy accidents. I wanted some reminders for myself. I made little envelopes and I have added chits of words inside. This person is from a takeaway bag. I don't know about you, but this boy reminds me of Jian from Doraemon. He's smiling well. So, a smile inspired spread. These are just from brand collabs, and this is from that vintage book I mentioned before, if you remember. Yeah, this one. Same journaling supplies applied here. Another simple pastel journal spread. This is very scrapbooky and I love it a lot. This one is also something I've documented. So by the way, anytime I say I've documented something, I'll probably be linking all of the videos on my description box. So if you're ever interested to see any of these, you can have a look. So I swapped my journaling supplies with someone else and she sent me stuff from her small business. So one of my very creative spreads, this is from my journaling workshop. She had a magazine and I saw that there's a cityscape, birds, and some random like page here. So I just thought of these birds looking over to the city and turned it into a pretty spread. This is the same day of journaling. Before I went to the workshop, I ate something. So these are like bills. This is like a coaster. This is from the coffee shop where the workshop was held, as well as a journaling ticket. A very lovely green spread. Regarding this, many journaling girlies write a quote called, I'm not able to remember it right now. A jack of, I don't know, something about a jack of trades. Not that deep, super simple. This is just a burst of bows on my journal page. Another one of those calendar spreads, very spaced out, a lot of room to breathe. These are like aluminum foils that I tried to make it look like gems, but I don't know, this one looks like a football. But you know what? It's shiny, it's a gem. You are a real gem. That's all you need to know. These are like the last few pages of the journal, so I was just randomly going all in trying to savor this journal before it ends. So there's a lot of creative collaging happening where I just spend time with myself, no filming, just journaling, and I think they turned out great. I love this spread because I turn it into like a double spread. Both of these words are motivational, but then I think these stickers match this quote and these stickers match this quote. I had not done something like this in my journal, but I'm so proud of it. One of my last junk journal spreads that I have filmed in this journal, very desserts theme, capybara theme. This is also an interactive one. So it says, what's your love language? And my love language is food. You know, one of the skills that you learn when you're journaling a lot is you can combine the most random of junks and make a cohesive spread. Ooh, I love this so much. A lot of different junks. These two are from a bakery. This is from a postcard. Takeaway bags. This is my own painting, this green one. And this is from a calendar. The sunny smiles for miles and miles is from the same page as this girl is. So the concept here is these men are looking like they're going for a war, and then there's this girl who's coming up with donuts. Does it make sense? No, doesn't have to make sense. So I'm obsessed with it. This entire journal exists because I went to that one journaling workshop and I just wanted to be grateful for the girl whose workshop I went to. So I told her to write a little note for me, whatever she wants to, and I also wrote something for her. All of these journaling supplies as well is from her shop. I just clicked a picture with her and wanted to give a page dedicated to just being grateful for discovering journaling. Since I had a lot of collaborations lined up because of the content I was creating, I had this journal idea since a very long time. I had saved up a lot of the branding from the brands and I just wrote a little note here, which is also interactive. But a good day to be proud of all the progress I've made. Alright, we're at the last page of this journal. I actually have a reel about this journal spread, like creating this spread, which I would highly recommend you check out. I wanted to add in elements of the journal page that I created first. So if you see here, so there's like a pastel purple theme going on, as well as bows and buttons, and this Miffy here. So combining all of these, I turned it into this journal spread. I wrote two notes about what I love about the journal, what I've done all these 6 months. So there's so many things going on, so many stickers. This is interactive here, limited edition, because there's not gonna be any journal in the world like this. So I wanted to write something related to that, and then this is how the journal looks, like this. So that was the first ever journal flip through journal tour of mine. I want to show you my second journal right now. Look at it. Same chaos, but a different one. I've also labeled it number 2. I had a blast sticking all these stickers, and I've also made the first intro page of the journal. So this is what has already happened and this is what lies ahead of me. If you're also someone who journals, that is super cool, because your journal may not look like mine, or my journal will never look like yours, because we're so unique. We come from different lives, different supplies, so everything we do, there's no ground for comparison but only inspiration. So I hope all these pages inspired you to do something, and like I mentioned, many of these journaling pages have process videos already filmed on my Instagram, which you can just scroll down and check it out. Lastly, if you've been there since day one or right during the last page of my journal, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this journal. Alright, let's say goodbye to this journal and start another one.